Welcome into Gradick Sports. We are on the go. I'm Tom Araquazo. We are at Temple High School, and we are with Coach John Garner and Coach Sean Moistner, and we're going to talk a little bit about wrestling, guys. First, Coach Garner, you came in a couple of years ago. This program was, I don't want to say down, but it was never really up. You didn't even have a full lineup.
Yes, sir.
And then the very next year, you fill up your room. And then the next year you bring in this guy, a future Hall of Famer with you. Talk a little bit about how it started and where we're at right now.
Coach Caleb Hanna was here for 5 years before I got here, and he had done a pretty good job of a core group of 6 or 7 kids, but it's really hard to win a duel that way. And throughout my career, I've always been focused on duels, and then the individuals kind of come with that. But I came here just got in the hallways, recruited. We had a couple of kids that were coming out of our middle school and just kind of built on that. Of course, we had 2-time state placer Zoe East, graduated 2 years ago. She was in the hallways helping us recruit quite a bit. So, we just kind of hit the ground running and got the junior program up and going at the rec department, and got us a guy in the middle school that, we had a guy there that kind of kept the program alive. We got some wrestling guys in the middle school, and that's helping us. We're starting to see a little bit of that. So just building on each and every year, and then of course, bringing on a very soon to be Hall of Famer if we have anything to do with it.
You won in my book, didn't you?
It's been phenomenal. I've been around Coach Moser for a while now, but coaching with him a couple years ago at Alexander and watching how methodic he is in the room, it was a no-brainer when Tim Griffin pulled me in and said, "Hey, what do you know about this Sean Moser guy?" So it's been great.
Yeah, and the intensity, I mean, I can see it. I can see it whenever I see you guys on the mat and your team and the fans and the parents and stuff, and everybody's bought into this thing. Coach, talk a little bit about coming here. I mean, you spent 20-something years at Alexander. You've been a head coach. You had very much a lot of success over at Alexander, building what you call the ALX Empire. But talk a little bit about leaving there and then coming here.
Well, I started at a small school, and I have 2 daughters, 8 and 10, and I just thought that it was best for them if I kind of returned to the small school environment. There's so many positives to the small school environment with community buy-in and administration and the cluster concept, that there were so many positives. And to be involved with my girls and their progression through school, I thought would just be the best move for us to come to Temple. I knew John, so that there was a comfort there, and I felt like there was something that we could do that could be really special here.
Talk a little bit about first the marriage of this right here, because you got 2 head coaches, and you do more of the facilitating, more of the managing, more of the day-to-day set up the tournaments, get the all that goes into putting that, and then you do more of the math stuff. So talk a little bit about your administration side of it, how it works together with him, and then you kind of the same after that.
Yeah, it's kind of what we were talking about the other day is, beginning of the season, Coach and I sat down and we said, okay, we're going to kind of divide the responsibilities, because people don't realize behind the scenes how much stuff actually goes into every single day. And I think that's taken a ton off my plate, it's taken a ton off the coach's plate, and it allows us to both be, to use the Carroll County mantra, premier in everything that we do. Whether it's, putting on tournaments. I think this year we have doubled the amount of stuff we hosted in the last 2 years. We hosted some really big tournaments. We want to continue to kind of move in that direction. And then of course, having coach in the room, that was a no-brainer. The moment he signed on the dotted line, it was okay, what is the structure going to be? And I'm like, look, you mentioned this last week, but I've always surrounded myself with guys that knew more than I did about wrestling. I mean, the guy wrestled in college, was a great wrestler in high school, so on and so forth, and I know what he brings to the room. So it would have been stupid on my part to step in and be like, okay, you're going to do my system, because his system works. I mean, you look at that wall at Alexander, and there's a lot of blame on that wall because of him and Coach Cochran and his staff and the kids. So yeah, we're both very intense individuals, and that's I think that's been a great thing for the kids. It's been a great thing for us, and we have both kind of just like with a marriage, we both kind of figure each other out. And year one has been great. I'm excited to see, what the rest of the season brings in the next year.
Going into this season, first year here, this program has never ever really done a whole lot when it comes to putting some trophies up in this room, in this wrestling room. But you come in with so much success at Alexander. What do you take from Alexander coming here, and then what do you see this program? Can you see this as an Alexander type program in the years to come?
For sure, that's ultimately the goal is to not only achieve the success that I was able to achieve in Alexander, but to even surpass it. That's always the goal, is to surpass what you've done the previous year. I've learned in my career to appreciate the little things, the successes, the individual, the team, but I don't ever truly get really satisfied with it. So it's like my wife asked me the other day, if you win the state title, isn't that going to be good? I'm like, yeah, but I still want to win another.
Want to win another.
She goes, well, what if you had 4 placers? I'm like, great. There's 10 weight classes. Like, there's always something, and it's what pushes you, drives you, motivates you. It's always trying to do that little bit of extra. I mean, I had a 4-time state champ at Alexander and Chad Starnes, but there's always a chance to have a second.
That's right.
There's always a chance to get a third. I mean, there's always something more. You just find motivation in those things.
Well, when you love something and you do something that you love, you always want to get better and do better in each and every year or each and every day. Talk about this team. Now, this team, guys, they've done something that's never been done here at Temple High School. They won an area championship, they won sectionals, and now they're in the Elite Eight, if you will, the state tournament, the actual dual state tournament. Talk a little bit about how these kids have bought in to your mindset and your way of drilling and preparing each and every day that you brought on the mat.
It started with this summer. It's funny because John's like, when I signed the dotted line, like literally that day I was going, all right, we got to get summer workouts set up and we've got to do this. So it started with summer workouts, and then I went to our preseason workouts. And little by little, they've kind of bought into what it is to be ambush style. And people who ask what ambush style is, it's be aggressive, be physical, and score points. So it's taken time for them to understand. It's like I first told them when I got here, when we talked, I said, you're not wrestlers yet. I said, you're guys who are on a wrestling team. Wrestlers have purpose. When they grab your wrist, there's a purpose to it. I'm not just grabbing it to grab it.
Right.
When I shoot a double leg, there's a purpose in why I'm shooting the double leg. And I think in the last, I think John will agree with me, in the last month, it seems like, they've started to see, I can see they see a purpose. They'll come off the mat and go, I should have done this. They see purpose.
Right.
When they go off the mat and they come off and can't tell you why they did what they did, there's not a purpose there. So I think as they develop purpose in what they're doing, the aggressions come, and the physicalities come, and then the points are coming. So I think we're starting to see that come to fruition, and it's a pleasure to watch it happen because you kind of see it.
Well, one of the things that y'all have done here, you've had the elementary school duels. I think y'all had some middle school, and what is it, CRWA or what is it?
Well, we had the elementary school. We established. I feel like I could say that we established the West Georgia Elementary School League.
I like it.
For our elementary school level, and then there's already an established middle school league through the county schools and a couple of the surrounding counties, right?
Right.
So all we've done is try to supplement it to make it a little bit bigger, a little bit better, because that's ultimately what it takes to build the machine, as I call it, that we're trying to build, is to have that development from the elementary to the middle school and then to the high school.
Well, we push to host it here because we want for the community to see that culture of wrestling. You go to some of the local schools, they've already got that culture established because it's been that way for 20, 30, 40 years. And that's really the reason why last Thursday we had the duels over at our rec department. Tomorrow we've got the traditional, we're supposed to have it last week in Billerica, but the storms came through, so we're hosting it tomorrow night. We did the middle school, we had CRWA here with the high school. So we've had a lot of, I would say, high caliber wrestling for that level in this area. We were just talking the other day about hosting USA, off-season wrestling, running camps this summer. So it's top to bottom, building out a full program and not just a team. Going from having individuals to having a team is great. Going from having a team to having a full program, that's even better.
Well, and here's the thing. We know across the state of Georgia, there are a lot of teams or a lot of schools, not a whole bunch, but that are always in the hunt each and every year. Your Alexander team, for example. Everybody knew that every year Alexander's going to bring a good, well-coached team in there whenever they walk in the room. Your Bremans, your Bufords, your Jeffersons, Collins Hills, the old Collins Hills, those type of teams are everybody looks at them as a wrestling school. That's what I feel like that is happening here with you guys.
Yeah.
You two guys are, and starting this first year together, I feel like that you two guys are going to really make Temple one of those schools, especially in single A, that people's going to look at a couple years down the road and say, you know what, there comes them Tigers from Temple, and they're going to bring a load with them, and you better pack your lunch because they're going to be a good wrestling program.
That's already happened.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. In the first year, and it's beautiful to me to watch because y'all know I love this sport, but to sit and watch, I've known you for years, loved you, love you to death, and what y'all have done here, it's not easy. It's tough. You take a guy that's been a head coach for 28 years of your life, and then you come in and kind of share a head coach deal. That's not an easy thing. But y'all's marriage has worked out with this Temple team, and I don't know. I'm just really excited about it. But before we get out of here, I want your take on what are you looking for Saturday out of this wrestling team? Because you open up with a pretty good team in Social Circle.
We were talking about this yesterday. One match at a time, 1 point at a time. Just get out there. I think we'll definitely take it to them. I mean, we're wrestling some pretty solid teams, but Temple's a pretty solid team.
Right.
Our Merch is a pretty solid team. I mean, there's some teams that we've seen this year that we've really taken it to them, and I got to say that turning point was Bradley Central. Going up there and watching our kids. I mean, we had a first-year wrestler that was in the blood round place. So I mean, talking about Gilbert. It's every single one of our kids they're all clicking at the right time, they're all doing the right things. So, regardless of what happens on Saturday, I'm extremely proud of them. I'm extremely proud of the program. The entire coaching staff, everybody's really come together, and I do think we'll be able to take it to them, but we'll see.
And the thing is I know you well. I know y'all are excited about this team's first ever opportunity being in the state pool tournament. But you want to build off of it. You guys are going in there with a mindset, we're going to win this thing, whether we do or not. But it's the first step of building a great program here at Temple. So talk a little bit about it.
I was talking to the kids yesterday. This will be the 7th straight Elite Eight that I've been involved in, and it's the 12th out of the 18 years I think the duels have been in place. The 12th Elite Eight I've been involved in, and this is a team that belongs. I can see elements of the teams I've coached in this team in terms of their aggressiveness, their confidence, their buy-in. But as you said, what we're trying to do is not only establish ourselves this year, but establish ourselves every year. I want to be a program. I want us to be a program that we walk into a gym and people are like, all right, Temple's there. It just picked up a notch. So I think we're headed in that direction. I think the kids are doing the right thing and buying into the right ideas, and our parents are buying into the right ideas, because that's a part of the development of the program.
Absolutely.
You got to bring those parents along, because they don't understand necessarily all that encompasses building a wrestling program and turning a school into a wrestling school. There's a lot of things that go into it, like a preseason workout, or like what are you doing after the season's over? Just going off into whatever, or do you continue doing things that are involved in wrestling? So we're trying to educate and build all of that within the program that we're trying to establish here at Temple.
Yeah, see, and to me, that's the key. Program, not a wrestling team. A wrestling team is a one-year deal. You're trying to build something just like you had at Alexander for all those years. Before we get out of here, right quick, Have you had to coach harder this year than you have in a few years past? Do you feel like, or do you feel refreshed and new because everything's kind of new now?
It's okay. So you have ebbs and flows in any program,
Right.
where you'll graduate 7 seniors and have 7 first. So there's always the ebb and flow there. It's been fun because this is reinvigorated because there's a newness to it, and trying to lay the foundation of the style that we are trying to institute here, and then trying to get to know each kid individually and the perspectives, and trying to get the parents on board with what we're doing, and everything really has injected a little bit of excitement into it, because it all is all a little new.
Right.
Sectionals was new. Hosting
Right.
sectionals was new.
Right.
For everybody. The Elite Eight's new. It's like trying to, hey, this is what we're doing, creating a routine. Is how we want to approach it. So yeah, it's been nice. It's been a very nice way to start, I guess you would call it, the second half of my career. So I've enjoyed it.
Before we get out of here, talking a little bit about what he said right there. This program and what this team has done this year, winning helps all of that. Winning helps the parents buy in. Winning helps the kids buy in. Winning helps get more kids out.
It's funny, I'm going to represent. So we went to the Meredith Reindeer Duels, and at the Reindeer Duels was Rockmart, 2-time defending state champ, and then the other 3 schools were all Elite 8 schools last year. And one of the parents was like, Coach, what are we doing? like what's going on? Because it was a rough day for everybody, but I think that is a big block to our foundation, because the kids saw where we needed to be, but they also saw where they could be, because we didn't necessarily wrestle poorly. We just wrestled like every kid was good, every kid was tough, and little things were important, because sometimes details matter. So I think the parents see the success that we're having, and are like, oh, it makes sense now.
There's a point to it.
Now I got it.
I get it. You took us up there and got us hammered on for a reason, and now here we are.
Every program needs that humbling day. That was ours.
That was yours. For any final words?
Make that route of try and come watch some history get made.
Temple Tigers. Man, I am so excited. I am so proud of what you two gentlemen have done here. I'm proud of the school. I'm proud of these wrestlers and what they've accomplished this year. But it's just the first step to getting on top of that podium for these Temple Tigers. Guys, he's Coach John Garner, Coach John Garner, and Coach Sean Moistner. We are here with Temple, and they are going to be heading to the Elite 8 up in Tryon this Saturday, right? So y'all open up a social circle?
Yes, sir.
Number 2 seed, right?
Number 2.
Oh, here come them Tigers. But I do want to thank our sponsors for wrestling. Presenting sponsor is Hightower Family Funeral Homes. I want to thank James O'Neill Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, Southeastern Hose, the Strong House Foundation and Strong House Wrestling, Whitetail Properties, and Cal Hardy. And I want to thank you two gentlemen. Good luck this Saturday. Thank you, guys.